are the children of the night. We are the denizens of the dark, cloaked in blackest shadow. We are the fallen angels, soaring through ebon skies upon ravens' wings. We are the wolves that prowl the midnight hours to prey upon the harmless. We are the descendants of the dragon's blood, the keepers of the ancient flame. We are the chosen ones, who dare to explore the mysteries of the unseen realms. We are legion, for we are many, and united, we cannot be vanquished.
I also just realized today is soon if an unholy day that was once celebrated among the unholy, on May 6th, 1654, I think, was the day we referred to as the Mayflower Pilgrimage Massacre. In a small early settler Dutch colony, there was an entire town full of people who had taken to the Stoic traditions of what they had deciphered as gods, unquestionable will and written by their hand, making everyone believe that their process of being a devout believer was the only true way. I think they called them morons, or was it, Mormons? They called them Mormons. Well, their perfect Pleasantville way of life came to an end one day when their township caught fire. As the blaze swept across the valley they lived on, they were surrounded on all sides by forest, and so quickly they became enclosed within the fire, unable to escape in any direction across the city. It is said that demons had come appearing from the flames and dragging people, screaming for their God to come and deliver them, but their ways of vanity and cruel action, masked by righteousness, had turned God's ear from their cries. They screamed and damned God's name as the flames grew higher. They asked why, when they had been such loyal and faithful people to him, and he turned from them, saying that they had become loyal to a stack of parchment, not him. They could no longer hear his commands because they had replaced the true will of the living God with this stack of paper. Their minister had tried to warn them of this, against the path they were on. They had him burned at the stake for being in league with the devil. On that night 284 people died in that fire, and was upheld as a day of unholy reverence, the day that hell came to the earth. The most unholy of those deserving of hell were seen appearing before the Protestant clergy, and you'd see warlords from days long past chasing fornicators and sodomizers down the streets. Even ancient reptiles that roamed the earth long ago betrayed their own brethren for the sake of escaping their fate, were there hidden within the shadows and devouring any who grew close enough to snatch up. This occurred all through the night, and by dawn there was not a single brick of a wall nor doorway into a house left standing, and every single person within had been burnt to ash dust. And with one mighty gust of wind and they were gone. as if they were never there in the first place. For ages nothing grew in that entire region.
They want more details as to what it is that I foresaw of their world and its struggles. I saw that their people had tried to reach the point of becoming an interstellar race many times before the moment when they would finally decrypt our language and understand the information they have acquired, leading them to hear these words I speak now. Every time their species comes close to achieving this, however, they seem to always be knocked back down in evolution by civil conflict that takes their social structure and destroys it, leaving them to have no choice but to rebuild their society from the foundations up, reverting their technology back to its most basic possibilities. This inner conflict within their society is suspiciously much like our own problems, therefore our solution should be able to apply to their solution to the same problem. Except for one major indifferential flaw, the source behind this is not just a problem found upon either of our worlds. I take a chance at doing this, but it's worth a shot. If there was just a way to send you this message without them intervening or intercepting it, open your communications frequency to scan all wavelengths and have your navigation system search for an intrusive signal that matches a frequency range that is not within the usual detectable wavelength. It will be found oscillating between that level and a signal range that would be used to send command prompt to a satellite or a network. These signals here on our world that we use to communicate with our satellites are set at a different frequency range than our other communications networks so that they do not get either confused for other systems or accessed by unauthorized individuals. Usually their computers must be operating under a military-designed operating system program that is usually labeled as DoD encrypted software that allows their system to communicate with the satellite array networks. These arrays function on a similar principle, but the control signal fluctuates to mask itself from typical detection parameters. But onto the more important question your superiors wanted answered: who and how will the invasion of your homeworld begin? The source of your world's first war against another interstellar species who is responsible for your people constantly being led back to its primitive state of survival instincts. In your past your people have encountered them before, but their people went almost extinct when they lost an interstellar war when they were once feared galactic conquerors. By the time you hear these words and understand its wisdom, they shall have taken up a more subjugated role in your society, as they are still on your world and living among you. There will be one among them who will be searching for ancient artifacts and will be what we call a small-time stolen goods merchant. He will also be a member of your interstellar division as an officer. Know this and take heed. Their people are not as defeated as they have led you to believe, and their invasion fleets are simply awaiting his signal to begin their assault on your world. Know that from the moment you receive the translated file on this topic, these scenarios are already at play, so when you finish hearing this you must approach the subject with your fellow authority members as if time is of the essence and must be acted on quickly, or you will not be able to be prepared in time before their invasion begins. I also know that this will prompt them to act before they are ready, in fear of being discovered, which will leave them vulnerable for you to deal a swift and crippling blow to their infrastructure. You must have faith in what I say, and that when you discover the possible evidence that validates these claims, do not hold your committee meetings to assess the problem. If you do, then you will not be prepared in time to possibly stop them for good. I know this message will reach you in time, for I seem to be praised as some sort of holy icon or hero to those on your world in its span of recorded existence, and this may be the reason why. So know that in the larger scheme of things, I have not altered time or changed anything by telling you this, but merely played my part as I was meant to. But this does ride the edge of the envelope when it comes to things that one should not attempt, or especially not to make a habit of relying on to solve most problems with its methods. That is the extent of the details I can divulge on what I saw. Till next time, ciao Bella.
Moi
Orbital.